that? Yeah, we have a microphone.
Shit. Huh?
You're in charge of this
I
right
know.
now.
I'm scared right now.
I'm terrified. You're gonna electrocute me.
This is bullshit.
You're a toaster in my oven.
Oh,
in my bathtub.
Christ. I need a drink. This is not what I wanted.
No. Is your toaster in my bathtub in my oven?
God, I hope we're.
Wait. What did I say?
Go on YouTube and see if we're live before we start this shit.
I'm trying. All right.
He's not
dumb.
Tube of views.
I overlied.
This is gonna be a fucking train wreck already.
Oh.
I can already tell.
Last week was a huge
already
train wreck, and it's not even up anymore. Sorry, dude. I totally fucking failed at that.
What, last
week? Yeah.
We're live.
You guys are talking shit on YouTube.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey.
What? Check us out. We're handsome bastards.
Season 2,
so
episode
sexy.
8. Fucking hell, man.
8 or 9? Is 8?
Yeah, it is 8.
Is 8.
Lucky 7 was last week.
That's right. I did just
so,
go well.
You know what you should do? I'm Gizz Lazlo.
I'm just Paul.
And we're here with another episode of Bullshit.
You're fucking welcome.
Oh, man. Be sure to like and subscribe. And
you hijacked that.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel here at Do Podcast. DUPODXAST. Want to thank our sponsors,
Headline Records
and Transplants,
MEOWZ, vintage store in Pasadena,
and Riot Manufacturing, and Offbeat.
Oh yeah, the Offbeat. Hey Todd, we're on.
So, how was your week?
Oh, actually, really good. I got a fuck ton of shit done. Like I blasted through a bunch of work, and I woke up not hungover a bunch, which was amazing. And then Friday happened. Fuck you, Jeff.
G off.
G off. Yeah, Jeff with a G. That's just not a real thing. Like we don't need any more of those. And we had a great time. There was hot tubs and beers and whiskers and.
Whiskers?
Whiskey.
Oh, whiskers.
Oh, dude, I have no idea.
Whiskers, that scared me.
Oh, it was.
I don't know what kind of parties you like.
I literally had to tell myself today, if you stop, it's gonna hurt. So I am totally out of shape.
Oh man,
even more so than you right now. How'd you do? What was your week like?
Actually, it was a really productive weekend. Getting t-shirts done, getting prepared for tour. Saturday, Foreclosure played our last show before we head on tour this Friday at Maui Sugar Mill, which I ran into, man, like almost a dozen of my mates from high school, which we hadn't seen each other
like 74 years,
20, 30 years, you know, and it's next year. It's going to be 40 years that we met.
You were making t-shirts.
Yeah.
For who?
Foreclosure for our tour.
But not for the
podcast?
No.
I haven't gotten able to get any yellow shirts. So.
They don't have to be yellow.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
I don't think they do.
I do. I believe they should be yellow.
I think we want to send them to all of our guests.
Yellow.
Like a retard.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Oh
a
my
retard
god.
and a cunt. Anyway, yeah, it was a great week. We have an interim producer today, Metal. Thank you for helping us out.
Fucking badass.
Hopefully everything is, can be heard out there. If not, comment on us, and
it'd be nice if this is all working.
I guess I should put up the comments so that we can see if
Metal's wearing a Crash Karma t-shirt. I love you, Nikki and Ralph. You guys are awesome.
So anyway, today we have another fucking great
legend.
Guest. Yeah,
fucking legend.
I love this guy.
Fucking legend.
I was fortunate enough to tour with him back in I think 2007 when we were in a band called Dr. No Thanks. And
I did not know that part.
And if it wasn't for him, I don't think I would have probably lasted that whole tour. But he and I were the carnivores of the tour, and I mean, we had an absolute blast just hanging out with each other.
Let's bring him in.
So, all right, you ready? Mr. Steve Contreras. Here we go.
How are you guys doing? You guys are really good. See you guys perfectly. Yeah.
Good, man.
How are you guys doing?
First off, I hope those residual checks from the Mexican soap opera are coming in still.
Was he B-Man?
Well, they come in quite useful now and again. Yeah.
What was it called again?
Yeah. Carne molida. Yeah.
Oh, wait. So you were the B guy? I love the big guy.
Yes. Yeah.
So, man,
No,
what
that
have you
was,
been up to, man? It's been a while since we've actually like seen each other.
it's been a long time. I was thinking about it earlier, and I think the last time I saw you would have been in 2009. Actually, that was when we went on the road together, because that was at the end of my time in Dr. No. And because I found this I found this old picture, and it said Detroit 2009, and it was me, you. It was when me and you were in the lineup.
So I was in the band in 2009. I thought it was 2007.
Yeah. It was a picture of a van in front of your family's house in Detroit.
Yeah.
Really, you're not a golfer.
Yeah.
And we were in Detroit. We spent the night there and had a good meal with my cousin.
Great meal. Yeah.
And then our first show was in San Antonio.
Oh man.
And we played with Black Fag. And
Hey Tex.
Yeah.
And Jamie Pina from Chemical People was playing guitar then, and Lisa and Jet Penalty. And then I can't remember what the drummer's name. Eric Lara was the backup singer.
Right. I remember you got kicked out. Remember you were filming in the barracks. You were taking pictures, and there was a sign saying no pictures. Yeah. So I was with you, so I had to leave also. So we have something in common with Ozzy getting thrown out of the Alamo. Barracks of the Alamo. Yeah.
We got kicked out of the basement.
Oh, come on now. You guys are there to clean it, and you didn't do your job.
I thought it was a bathroom.
Yeah, I remember the Alamo. Yeah.
Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Ray, how's it going, buddy?
So good. Okay, obviously they can hear us.
Ray is never gonna not watch this show. He's a huge fan.
He's the only one that says, "Hey, shut off the mic."
He's got a tattoo now. Says you should do. I can't read that. I don't know. Abel. Oh, it's fucking Abel, the Silver Fox.
Oh yeah,
buddy.
Cheers from Long Beach. All right, man. We got people watching. We got 30 people. I always add a 0.
Oh, congratulations. So how did you two guys meet? Was it just Dr. No, or did you guys know each other before that?
No, I think it was Dr. No.
It was, that was the first time I met you. Yeah. I had been
we actually rehearsed in my studio when I was in Dead Lazlo.
Right. I remember that. Yeah.
Rehearsal, and then the next day we left.
Right. Yeah, I remember that. We went to one,
and then took a
run through.
And then we took a
run through.
We drove straight from LA to San Antonio, and our first.
Yeah, you guys drove. I had to stay back, and I had to meet you guys. My grandmother had just passed, so I stayed for the funeral, and then I flew and I met you guys. San Antonio.
So personal, like the family helicopter.
Oh, so you left me alone with those two cunts. I
did. Yeah, I thought, why shouldn't he have all the fun? I'd already been with those vegan guys for a few years, so I said
I think the hardest part of that tour was being on the road with 2 vegans, and our riders were all vegan meals.
Vegans exactly. Dirt. They should eat dirt. That's like there's no animal. Like actually there is. Like, oh my god, that drives me fucking bitch.
But it was hard, man. Just every meal. Like, and then we wanted to stop at McDonald's. Like it was like, no, we're not doing that. That's bullshit corporate this and that. I don't give a fuck, dude. I want a Big Mac.
I'm fucking hungry.
Dude, I'm hungry,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was like that was the only tour that I remember I actually gained weight, because I had someone, with me that would eat. So me and you would go find all the places that would sell actual food. So
yeah.
We
were driving, and there was a big sign, like miles and miles, like 10 miles away. It was like a huge sign. It had the McDonald's logo on it, and I looked over and I got McDonald's, and then there was like next exit, blah 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 road, and then there was the McDonald's thing, and you're all stop.
He's been doing it all fucking day, by the way. Stop! Dude, I was not ready for that. I've been drunk for 3 days.
Do you remember where that story came from? I had told you. I don't know if you remember. It was when I was in the army. Right. It was we were in Germany, and there was one of the guys, and we went on this. I think we were in Wolfsburg, I believe. And one of the guys that I was sitting next to, he was starving, and he just all he wanted was to eat. And every time there was like an American fast food we drive by, he'd just say to stop. And then one time in particular, the bus, the tour guide, she's like, "No, that is the American style McDonald's." And then he just screamed, "Stop!" So every time there was a McDonald's, I would think of that. Stop.
Dude, Brandon and Ismail, they would get so upset, man. They were like, you both you guys shut the fuck up. Jesus.
But now he fucking does it to me just randomly.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you ruined my life. I see you're the
Yeah, I
guitar
still
player.
think of that when I see those. I'm sorry?
Guitar player, Dr. No, you were in the Army. What other bands have you been in? I got a whole ton of questions right now.
Yeah, well, first when I got out of the Army, I didn't do much musically. I played with I used to jam with a few guys. One was it was really odd. It was we went by the name Free the Machete. It was like a grunge band, which was I didn't really feel comfortable doing it, but it was something to do. And then I used to jam with some other friends. Oh, in fact, Steve Brown. We used to jam. Yeah, we used to jam a little bit. We had gone to the same high school, so we had mutual friends. So
that's
did
weird.
a little,
Really?
right,
Yeah.
right, yeah, yeah. It was
I was in a band with him, and we took a break. I think it was his first rehearsal with us on bass, and we took a little break. And he was like, "Hey, so you were in Dr. Noun?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Which one, the Kyle Titcher or Brandon Cruz?"
Oh,
And I was out Brandon Cruz, and he's like, "Oh, who was in the band?" And I go, "Well, it was me, Ismail, Brandon, and a guy named Steve." And he's like, "Steve? Steve who?" And I go, "Contreras." And he goes, "Dude, I went to high school with him." And I was like, "No."
yeah,
Oh,
That's
yeah,
right.
it is. It's a small world.
He's
Right.
actually listening right now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, man, good to see. Yeah, I hadn't seen Steve-O in a long time. I think last time I saw Steve-O was there was a show. It was Dr. No, Decry, and it was Mad Prick. Yeah, and that was I can't remember what year. It was a while ago.
There he is. There he is right there. Steve.
We're getting comments.
All right, man. Yeah.
But he now plays for my new band Foreclosure.
Oh, nice. And
we're leave on tour on Friday.
Oh, that's
the good guy.
Dude.
Yeah. He said you guys saw each other at the airliner.
Right. That's exactly where it was. Yeah, It was the airliner. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah,
it's the airliner.
Oh, I'm fucking sorry.
That's what you were on Wednesdays.
No, that's on Thursdays.
Yeah, so that was a while ago. Yeah, that was then that was when I was just messing around, and then I had got married to my first wife, and then so I was working a nighttime job, to make sure we had paid the bills. So I kind of dropped out of music for probably around 9 years. And then when I got to my early 30s, that's when I started getting back into music because I wasn't working at night anymore. So me and two of my cousins used to start, writing music. In fact, Destroyer Rick Contreras, Dr. No drummer.
Right.
Me and him and his
I would have gotten into the band because he lied to
right.
What?
He went into Canada. And
there was something.
We're not musicians.
Yeah, well, that was when we had tried to get into Canada, and we kind of.
And then he had to do some
little
appearance or something, and that was the reason he couldn't do that tour.
Right.
And then
Jerome, so
Burning Tree Records called me up. Hey, man, Dr. No's desperate. They need a drummer, and they need to
Desperation smells of failure.
This week they leave on tour on like Friday or something.
Oh, wow.
So we rehearsed like Thursday night, and then Friday morning we drove. Oh, no, I think it was earlier than that because I think we left Thursday to be in Texas by Friday for our first show of the tour, and then we went all the way back east and then came home. And again, like it was a great tour. If it wasn't for Steve, I don't think I would have lasted.
So Steve, from a musician standpoint, because you're a fine musician, how bad is Gizz really?
Thank you. On a scale of 1 to 10, let me see. No, No, the thing I like, honestly, no, the thing I liked about Gizz was that, not knowing the songs coming in, it was really tough because we weren't just a regular power chord, four chord, just simple beat type of band. We had a lot of starts and stops and kind of. So I noticed a lot of the Dr. No songs are kind of constructed almost like metal songs,
Mhm.
So it was a lot for Gizz. Yeah, it was a lot for Gizz to get into right away. Yeah, right? I mean, am I not
I tease him, but he's a fucking really great musician and just an ugly.
right? And yeah, but what I think is it's like how you were able to just it's a lot to jump into that, but you were able to get it down rather quickly, and that's what I thought. That's why it worked, Yeah. So that's why.
Brandon
Yeah, I
needed
think
it. Years later, I ran into Brandon, and I actually have a resume of like bands I've been in, because every time somebody asks me, "Hey, can you let me listen to something? Because we need a drummer or a singer," I just send him my SoundCloud. Like, okay, here's what I've done. And Brandon saw that I had the very first song that we ever played together live was "Watch It Burn," and
right.
from San Antonio, and somebody sent me the video. So I took the video and I grabbed the audio just from that first song because it was the tightest song, and it was my first song with you guys. So I put it up on that, and he's like, I need you to take that down. And I'm like, no, man, it's like, my first show with you guys, and it's kind of tight, it's a great song, and but no, you're not in the band. And I was like, yes, I was, man. Yes, I was. I was your touring drummer.
There you go.
So I'm taking credit for it. That is me playing drums, and it's going to stay on my resume. And we argued, and then as soon as we were, he was getting upset about it, he goes into his vest and he pulls out a pack of cigarettes and he puts one in. And I go, oh, and now you fucking smoke? I couldn't smoke that whole tour.
God.
I started chewing tobacco, and then he gets mad at me because I had
water. Oh, I remember that. That. You always had your Gatorade bottle with it.
Yeah. That I would spit in, and I put it on the side
and
of the door when I would
that
drive.
Was really awkward,
and I drove a lot. I pulled my weight, Though I remember we were in, I can't remember. I think it was Tennessee, and we ran into some people that I knew, and I got drunk before the show that night, and I fucked up a few songs, like a few stops and starts and endings, and at the end of the night. Brandon pulled me aside and he goes, if you do that one more time, I'm going to start docking your pay. And I was like, oh, from $20 to 10?
Oh, God. 2 nickels to 1 nickel.
And then another story that I remember was the last night of the tour. We played in Santa Barbara. And
Santa Barbara,
I think we played with the Freeze that night. It was and
yes, we did.
At the end of the night, the promoter came up and he handed Brandon, I think $100, or something like that. And he's like, no, our guarantee is $1,000. And he goes, no, it's not. And he goes, yes, it is. Yeah, we've been getting paid $1,000 a night and blah, blah, blah. And then he pulls out the contract and the decimal point was in the wrong place.
Oh my God.
And he had to eat it. And I started laughing. And Brandon goes, dude, why are you laughing? And I go, because I deal with that guy all the time. And he's always ripping me off. I'm glad it's just not me. It's not personal. I think he does it to everybody.
Wow. Yeah, I never knew that. I always stayed away from that part of it. The money. Was the last but yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah.
It's hard not to be
interesting.
So what was the reason you picked up a guitar?
Yeah, what happened was I grew up, my father was a guitar player and a vocalist. And so when I was since I can remember, there was always a guitar playing in our house. So my dad was always in bands. And so there was always music going on. So this was, early 70s. Well, I was born in 68. So at the time, it was whatever was current was what my dad was. Yeah. In fact, I just turned 57 last month. So my dad, at the time, whatever current was at the time is what my father was playing. It was a lot of, Grand Funk Railroad, Santana, Doobie Brothers, Chicago. So that's really that was my first experience in just seeing him play guitar. To me, it was natural, when I get older, I'm going to play guitar. I just thought that's what you did. You did what your dad did. So by the time I was about 10 was when I really, really got into music. Like I had a friend named Brian that I went to grade school with, and he was the one that turned me on to Sex Pistols first time. Sex Pistols, Devo, first Van Halen album, all that stuff. So I just knew I was going to be involved in music, and guitar was the instrument I chose. So when I waited a while. So when I turned around 15 is when I had one of my father's guitars, and I just said, I'm going to teach myself if it kills me. So I would just sit there, play cassettes, play along to Black Sabbath, which is my favorite band. I try to learn the songs. I'd get frustrated because they were too difficult. So I'd get like some Ramones or something simpler and do the power chords and stuff like that. So I kind of learned guitar by, half metal. That's around when Metallica and all the bands were starting to come out. So that's when I try to I would try to learn the metal. It was a little too difficult for me. So I would always have punk, which I love punk rock. So I would, copy Circle Jerks, stuff like that. Just to keep guitar going. And eventually I got better. It took a while. But,
So
yeah.
in all reality, it was like you were kind of like a crossover guitar player where you started out as a punk guitar player, and as you got better, you know
exactly.
You were a fucking shredder, man. I remember that first.
Thank you.
And I was just like, oh wow, man, this is different from me, because I was expecting
funny
that Kyle Tutcher, like that guy, we'll get into that.
I was really lucky because I think my guitar playing, my style, it came basically out of frustration, to be honest, because I loved punk rock and I loved heavy metal, which at the time there was you either liked one or you liked the other back in the early 80s,
Mm-hmm.
But I had so many friends that were metalheads and punk rockers, so I kind of I just love both, Motorhead. I mean, that's kind of a mix of both anyway. So I liked the aggression, Black Flag, all that stuff had been around. So I was more of a metalhead, but I loved the aggression of punk rock. So I couldn't play Van Halen solos or Randy Rhoads or stuff like that. I couldn't do that. So when I started, I said, well, I could do punk rock. I could play power chords as fast as I can. So I'd kind of integrate the metal into my punk playing. And it kind of made the style that I end up really sticking with. It worked for me. So that's kind of what, to this day, up to my last band, Out for War, it was basically hardcore punk with some metal thrown in there too, But that's really what happened. It was out of frustration. Yeah.
It was
trying
more
to
like
find my
the
style.
would be more punk and the solos would be fucking metal.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I figured I love the aggression, the simplicity of punk rock, especially hardcore. And then I said, well, what it needs is some solos, So that's kind of what I did. And then what was good for me was when the crossover thing happened, in the late 80s came around, the DRI and SOD and all that. That was really, and for me especially, it was the Venice hardcore.
Oh,
that's really what. Oh man, it just expanded my mind. Oh yeah, that's really
fucking dude.
My favorite was Beowulf. Beowulf was the one I just. God, that was like a godsend for me because I'm like, look, I can play hardcore, but I can also do guitar solos too. So that really helped me a lot as far as finding my style. Yeah.
Did it help a little bit that what made you kind of go in that direction was that, like, especially with the suicidal bands, that they were Latinos,
Yeah, you know what? I never really thought about it till later. But I realized, it's kind of cool, when I was young, back in, when I was a little kid in the 70s, early 80s, you didn't really see that, except for maybe Santana. Like my dad was playing Santana records, Malo records, and stuff like that. But yeah, I noticed it was kind of cool seeing that, especially them being from the LA area. It's like, yeah, they're like me. They're Mexican American dudes. They're from Los Angeles, and they're doing hardcore or metal.
Mhm.
And it was kind of inspirational.
That's
Thinking,
what
why,
attracted
I
me
can do that too.
That's what attracted me to Slayer was Tom.
Right, right. Tom being
Sepultura,
from
I didn't
Chile.
later, but it was like
Yeah.
Slayer was just
Yeah.
like, wow, man. And then his little brother was in Blood Cum, and we used to go
Blood
see
Cum,
them
yeah,
in Lament or
yeah.
a lot of
I remember
the
Blood Cum.
LA metal bands, man. It was just like,
So what was the first guitar you ever got?
The first one, well, I had my father's one of his SGs. He had passed when I was 8, and I had my mom had saved an SG. I had that, but the first guitar I bought for myself, it was a Fender Strat, and I played that for a while. But I noticed that I didn't really. It wasn't really. I didn't know enough yet to know about changing the pickups and all that. But what I did was, once I realized, the single coil pickup on a Strat, I loved the neck and the feel, and I still play them to this day. But I realized I needed some more beefy sound, and that's when a friend of mine said, "Well, why don't you put like a hot rail? It's like a humbucker in there."
Yeah.
So I started doing that. Every time I bought a few more Strats along the years, and then I would switch out the single coil pickup for a double coil. And so the first one I chose, I went with my own money and bought, was a Stratocaster, Fender Strat.
Dude,
Which,
I love Fender.
yeah.
I love Fender. What do you play? What's your rig? Your setup right now? Like, what are you playing through?
Well, let me see. Last when we were gigging, it would have been when I was in Out for War. I was running through a 6505 head, 6505 plus PV head, because that has so much gain. But my main guitars, I was using. When I was in Dr. No, I was lucky to get a Jackson endorsement. So I got this. I got a Randy Rhoads V.
Oh, wow.
That was like, yeah, it was one of my pretty much my main acts at the end. But most of the time I was in Dr. No, I was using my Ibanez, one of the RG models, and that was pretty much the guitar. That was my main guitar through the Dr. No and through the Out for War years. I was using that RG. It has EMG pickups, and then plus with a 6505. I mean, that's more gain than you could ever use, ever need, rather. Yeah, so that's really was my main. I'm sorry?
Do you run active pickups, or you just are on the passive side?
Well, with the Ibanez, it was actives, but for the most part, I use a lot of passive. I use I like the JBs. And for when I'm playing with through my Strats, I always put hot rails in all my Stratocasters. I started playing. I have another SG that I recently bought, and that I just left the stock pickups because running through the 6505, I noticed that gain is not an issue. And those are kind of crunchy pickups anyway. Very 70s hard rock style, and with that amp, there's no problem getting gain. So, yeah. But mainly I've gone back to just passive.
If you could have, like, if you couldn't play Fender, what would be the next guitar that you want to play?
Obviously, an SG.
Well, I'd have to say, like I said, Fenders were my when I was younger. But once I started playing live, like playing like the Dr. No years and the Out for War. Well, no, actually, in Out for War, I was using a lot of Stratocasters also. But I'd have to say, I'd have to go with the Jacksons.
Really?
I have three Jacksons, and just I don't know, the necks are just so, I don't know, just especially for my hand, the width is just right, and I don't know, just I think if I had to just choose one brand, it would be Jackson's.
I mean,
Very
that's like
shreddy.
So you were never a Les Paul guy?
Not really, no. I like Les Pauls a lot, but it just didn't really, they don't seem me. I had an Epiphone Les Paul, but, and I liked it. It was a really good guitar, but as far as Gibsons go, the SG is the one. Like I have an SG and I love that. That's more the style that I would go to. And I love Gibsons, but if I had to narrow it down to just one, it would be Jackson's, mainly the like the dinky shapes. And of course, the Randy Rhoads V's are really, really awesome.
No flying V's?
Yeah, the Randy. Well, actually, I have a Gibson V. And funny you mentioned that. I'm surprised they forgot to mention that. That's a really good guitar. And it has old Dirty Finger pickups in it. And that one, it's got a really, really heavy, crunchy sound. Yeah, I'm surprised they forgot to mention that one. Yeah, but that's a great guitar also. Yeah.
Which guy did Judas Priest used to use the Flying V? Was it
KK Downing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a hard guitar to play.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of sustain. They're difficult. Like even an SG is a hard guitar to really get a lot out of. Like they just it's a difficult guitar to. I found. I mean, maybe that's not the case for everybody, but I found like it's a really there's kind of a dead sound to it. Like you've got to work the shit out of the guitar.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with how you the action, how you set up the strings on them. Because I think out of my Gibsons, I think I get a decent sustain, but I have the action set right to where there's no buzz. It's kind of gets rid of. They are a little.
You need to realize, like, this is a guitar player.
I know. That's why I'm asking questions.
You know.
Oh no!
You want to be a guitar player.
God,
You play great air guitar. God, I bought him some air guitar.
A bunch of those too.
One of us went to college with the guitar, and the other one's fat and Mexican. Yeah.
But I notice I do get you get more sustain though with the Gibsons than actually with the Strats, because the Strats are the bolt-on neck, and with a set neck like the Gibsons, you get a
I'm a Telly guy all the way down. Rosewood neck, Telly. Like I've always like that guitar is always the thing I've loved.
The Telecaster?
Yeah, Telly.
To me, like I'm not a guitar player, but the bands that I've been in, and especially the several bands that I've been in, obviously I've played with so many guitar players, and when it comes to like a Telly, like it's good for rock and roll, but for punk rock, it just never had that bite, And then SGs always gave me an issue when my guitar players were playing, because they always went out of tune for some reason, and then the people that we know, like the English guitar players, like Jock from GBH and Tez from Discharge and Broken Bones, and all those guys from England, they all played at Les Pauls until they got into like their 40s and 50s, and then they switched over to Hagstrom. Because it's same body style, same feel, but it's a lighter, guitar.
I like a heavy guitar.
Like a lot of my friends who played Les Pauls, they gave up because it was just like, dude, it's heavy and it's fucking up my back.
It's probably maybe the heaviest guitar. Yeah, as far as my experience, they're notorious for being heavy. Yeah.
The one guitar player, Ike from Bad Sound Boys and Dead Lazlo's place, he used to play what is that? The Gibson L6. You remember
I'm not that much of a nerd.
Yeah, that was a thinner, lighter version of a Les Paul. It had that same body style, but it was a thinner, lighter version. And that guy, he was a shredder too.
He's still badass.
He's half a Steve. I wish I would have. When the pandemic started, a friend of mine from Schecter gave me an acoustic guitar, and a left-handed one, because I think if I played guitar, I'd play left-handed. And because when I play air guitar, it's left-handed.
How weird is that?
And so I got one, and for the first month of the pandemic, the lockdown, I tried, and I was, went on YouTube, and there was a guitar lesson thing that I tried to do, and I was too old. Like,
you were way too old.
Like, I just like, I thought, I've been playing for so long, like, music for so long, this might come naturally. and it was work. And that's what really, to be honest, I think gave me the appreciation for guitar players, because dude, it is a beautiful instrument, and if it's played well,
It's great.
like, dude, like, guitars are what make, like, heavy music, and rock and roll.
I would actually put throw the drummer and the bass player in there as well. Like, you gotta,
but
it's three guys.
But the guitar is what's giving you that melody for the drums and the bass to do what they do, especially when it's done well. Like if a bass player is doing runs and not just doing the rhythm of what the guitar is doing.
Yeah.
And that, to me, in music, is what annoys me sometimes, is when, guitars and bass are doing the same damn thing.
There's playing rhythm.
Yeah. It's like, dude, like, find your spot.
All right, so enough about you.
You know what, fucker?
You know what you should do?
You know what you should do? Shut the fuck up.
So, what was the first punk band?
Hey, remember, there's 2 Mexicans in this group right now.
I'm
3.
I'm
Got metal over
honorary.
there.
I'm an honorary Mexican. What was the first punk band you actually heard that really kind of like piqued your interest and go, what the fuck is that? I want to do more like that.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, I didn't really. I mean, I had heard the term punk rock. I think I was 10 years old around that. That was a very important time. There, so many good albums came out that year. It would have been 78. The first album I heard where someone told me it was a punk rock band, it would have been the Sex Pistols album. It was Nevermind the Bullocks. And I remember like yesterday, like my best friend, he had friends that were a lot older than us. So they exposed him to all the really cool music that we hadn't heard yet, because, of course, no internet and all that. And all we had was, like KMET, KLOS, and they weren't playing music like that. So he was, privy to all these bands from his friends, older friends. And he told me, he goes, you come over after school. He goes, you got to hear this band. It's guitar. He knew I loved guitar. He goes, it's a lot of guitar. So come over. So after school, I walked to his house and he played the Sex Pistols album. And I just remember just hearing just the marching at the beginning, Holidays in the Sun, the guitar, the drrr, and then as soon as I heard that whole album, I just sat there. I grabbed his baseball bat, and I hadn't played guitar yet. I was strumming it like I was a guitar, and that was the first album that I knew that a band that was considered a punk rock band. But then later, I think the one that really did it for me was, I'd have to say, when I heard Black Flag, the first time I heard Damaged, that was that album. It just, I didn't even know, I don't know what it was. I didn't know what I was hearing. I just knew the aggression. I was a little kid, all this pent up stuff was coming out that I didn't know was in me. So after the Sex Pistols, which they're kind of like a rock band, but but as far as I always consider them like a great rock and roll band. But punk rock, it would probably have to be Black Flag. And then that's when I really started going down that route. I found the Germs. I think they'd already been out, but I found the Germs album. I fell in love with that album. Like I said, Circle Jerks. They all just started coming in when I started meeting my friends. I'd meet this guy. He had another friend. He has some more punk albums, usually handed down from their older brothers and sisters.
Yep.
And so it would have been Sex Pistols. Oh, and the Ramones, of course. The Ramones you have to throw them in there too. But it was a lot of the LA stuff, the Germs, the Black Flag, Circle Jerks, a lot of that stuff.
I think
and
that's
then I was lucky.
the best answer ever to that question.
Mm-hmm.
That's been, dude. That's awesome as shit.
Well, that's really how I remember it. I mean, and I have really good memories about that too, because I was also listening. I was a really big Devo fan. I loved Devo, and so it was just such a time where there was so much. Everything was different that I was listening to. I Black Sabbath, of course, who's my favorite band. So I had the really heavy stuff, what is now called classic rock, was current rock then. But yeah, the punk rock and the metal is really what grabbed me the most, just because of the aggression and then the feeling that it gave me. You know, of course, Dead Kennedys, all that stuff came too, and
Did you ever get
it's
like
just
down?
a great time.
Did you ever like get into Hollywood during those years where like it was crazy punk rock or riot kind of shit?
Not so much then. I was still fairly young. It was mostly because I was in high school. I went into high school and I started in 1982. So what happened at that
Evo, and it
time?
was all downhill.
Yeah, well, what happened was that's when all the metal started. You know, that's when like here came Number of the Beast and Screaming for Vengeance and all that stuff. So that was another whole. I just gravitated towards the metal. So I had that going on with the punk rock, and for us, I grew up in Alhambra. I'm sure you guys. I'm sure
We're in
you
El
guys
Sereno.
Oh, no way. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's where most of my years that's where I spent most of my years. When I was 8 years old, we moved to Alhambra from Cypress Park. That's where I started.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
we're like
we moved
literally
there.
like around the corner.
Okay, since we have a metalhead punk here, I have to ask
Oh,
you a
God.
question.
Yeah,
Kiss sucks.
Iron Maiden. So
right.
Paul Di'Anno, you had what I consider like a punk band, and then they get Bruce Dickinson and become like one of the greatest metal bands. Like, how did you react to that?
I really liked it. I thought I did like the because like you said, the Paul Di'Anno stuff. It was really raw. It really was, and I was cool with the Bruce Dickinson thing because when I heard his voice, I just like, oh my god, like
Exactly.
that's a human's doing that. So I was able to go ahead and let go of the Paul Di'Anno era because I just was just so blown away by his vocals, So I was okay with it, but it didn't make me like the Paul Di'Anno stuff any less. I mean, that stuff was just great, just great.
What do you think about?
God.
What do you think about Motley Crue's first album, Too Fast for Love? Punk
album. Oh God, I love that album. Loved it. Loved that album. Very raw. I don't think they really. I wasn't much into anything much after that. Maybe Shout at the Devil, yeah, some. But the first Motley Crue album was really the one that I still listen to it to this day.
One of my favorite Motley Crue songs is Red Hot.
Why?
Red Hot's a good song.
Oh, dude, that fucking double bass on that song, man, is just
fucking hashers.
And then that like it's the simplicity of guitar that makes a song, like when you go
I can play an A chord for you.
You can play A chord.
I can play all the chords.
A chord, not 8. God. This guy over
There's
here.
no fucking winning with a British troll boy over here.
Yeah, that was about the time. Like after the first Motley Crue, and the second one also. I like Shout at the Devil, but that's when metal started getting heavier. That's when Metallica's first album came out, Slayer's first album, and then I started going more that direction. And then, like I said, when the crossover thing happened, the SOD and that DRI. Oh my God! I mean, that's really where I went. I went that direction.
Corrosion Conformity.
Corrosion was great. I loved Corrosion. All of those bands, and especially like I know Paul had asked about the Hollywood thing. I didn't go to too much of the Hollywood stuff, but in the early '90s, I did. After I got out of the Army, we used to go check out a lot of bands, and I remember the 3 bands that I used to always seek out, like whenever they were playing. It was Cadillac Tramps.
Yeah.
I used to love that band.
Oh yeah.
Whenever they would play, me and a couple of my friends, we would go, hey, Cadillac Tramps are playing. That was one of the bands we would always go to Hollywood. Raji's, they would play at Raji's, and there was 3 bands. It was Cadillac Tramps. I liked Motorcycle Boy. That was a band that I liked a lot too. And there was another band, Terror Train. Do you remember them? Terror Train? Yeah. That was like most of my Hollywood shows were revolved around that era. Those bands. So we used to go see a lot of the punk. Well, punk. I guess you call it punk. it was just like a mix of so much cool stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Some rockabilly, some
one of the bands that
Just
really
good
like,
stuff.
like spoke to me in those early metal Hollywood days was Junkyard, you know, and then finding out that
Junkyard. Okay, yeah.
played for them, it was like, whoa,
Yeah.
dude, that guy was in Minor Threat. Now he's in Junkyard.
Right.
Great musician.
Man, everything that guy touches is gold.
Does
Yeah.
he touch you? Because
Yeah.
you don't look gold at all.
I'm silver.
Like,
You're the aluminum, so shut the fuck up.
I just fell off the truck.
The turnip truck. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Monster because
Oh,
can never have too much energy, you know.
Oh,
I
you can.
drink Twisted Tea, which turned me into a monster.
Yeah, it was this morning and it was still ugly. So, what would you say was your biggest influence guitar wise? Like, who's the one guy that you kind of wanted to be?
Oh wow. I've thought about that so many times. I have to honestly, the guy that, especially when I was starting, the guy that I most wanted to play like was Tony Iommi. I mean,
Oh,
So you cut a couple fingers off?
Well, hey, if that's what it took, you know, that's. But honestly, if
This guy
that's what,
plays like he has no fingers.
dude, you're just evil.
the funny thing is, you were talking about being left-handed. I'm actually left-handed, but I made myself learn to play right-handed because I had a right-handed guitar.
Same with Ike. Yeah.
Really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
so that was another reason, you know, Tony Iommi being left-handed. I just thought it was cool, but I think if that was really the guy that did it for me, because not even so much the playing itself, but him, the writing the riffs. I mean, that helped me later on, just thinking, you know, any song that I make a riff for, I want it to have a groove to it. Even if it's hardcore, it's fast. If there's a lot of speed to it, I always kind of think of that, but I want it to be catchy and have a groove. And I learned that from Tony Iommi. Obviously, I'm not the only one, but that's really the guy that did it. That's the one that made me really want to play guitar and get better.
Yeah.
So let's dive into this a little bit.
Oh no,
Tony Iommi,
Jesus Christ. You're gonna talk about music?
your idol as a guitar player, and then if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong.
No,
you
you're
were the
wrong.
singer for a Black Sabbath tribute band.
Right? Yeah. Ozzy's definitely one of my.
So what was your
top
stage name? Nazi, like Mexican Ozzy?
Oh come on, that's not even racist.
Yeah, no, he was I mean, if I was a good bass player, I would have wanted to be Geezer probably. But the thing was,
Mazelito.
but the thing was, when the Sabbath thing came along, that was purely just like, that was like the funnest shit I'd done, and you know, God, I was having so much fun doing that because
So you were
when
the
I used to
tribute
jam
band
with my,
Masters of Reality.
I'm sorry, Masters of Reality, and then they parenthesize the Black Sabbath tribute because there's of course the band Masters of Reality from they were in the 90s. They were a band that did originals. I don't know if you guys remember them.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
They were horribly horrible.
Did
They had,
You were in
that
it. It's your
Masters of
fault.
Reality? Did they have something to do with Faith No More at all?
I think that was a Mike Patton thing, wasn't it?
Was it?
I can't remember. There was some connection to another band, and I can't remember what it was. But I remember that the Sabbath tribute band, they were getting a lot of backlash for using that name because there was an original band called Masters of Reality. So they added the parentheses, the Black Sabbath tribute band. So I was singing for them for a while, not quite a year. It was probably more like about 8 months, and then that's when the Dr. No opportunity came.
That's me had the baby.
All right. So now that you went back to Dr. No, the year I think we had just either gotten off that tour or it was the year later. I went to Punk Rock Bowling, and so it had to have been 2010 at that point. And Dr. No was playing with Kyle Titcher. And so
Oh,
me and
wow.
my
Okay.
brother,
Yeah.
we went to the show.
Here
And
it
I'm
comes.
standing in front of Kyle. And at the end of the show, I walked up to him. Hey man, I introduced myself and I go, yeah, I was the drummer for Dr. No on this last tour. And all of a sudden, you know, he was like, oh yeah, cool. And my brother goes, yeah, man, they should have called themselves Dr. No Thanks. And Kyle turns around and he goes, that's fucking funny. And then he started talking to me and we just started, you know, talking shit about
Yeah.
Randy for
God.
fucking like an
Yeah.
hour.
I mean, like as bad as Chris Long.
Ugh.
Yeah. That
So what
was
are you up
that
to
was.
these days? Are you playing guitar? You do anything? Any cool projects?
I haven't done anything in a long time. What happened was I was in the band here in Reno. We had a band called Out for War, of course, you know, and it was as soon as I had moved here, I had ran into the guys that ended up being in Out for War were one of the singer who became our singer. I'd met him in San Francisco when I was still in Dr. No, and he was in a band that was playing. They opened for us, and I had, you know, I moved here because I have family here, and now they're gone, so I'm alone again. But I said, you know, my family's in Reno.
Without you.
Yeah, alone again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, good song. I love Duck and Tickle. Anyway, so I said, hey, you know, I have family in Reno. If ever I come up there, and we'll hang out. So I ended up moving up here, and I looked him up. His name's Dave. And he said, you know, we should start a band since you live here now. So he you know, he found some musicians here because I didn't know anybody. So he got our bass player Mark and our drummer Rooster, and we just started. You know, we started just to feel it out and see if we could gel. You know, and it was a good lineup and it worked. So we had a really good run. We played up here for probably about 6 years or so. And it was a really solid band, and it was really good. But I think, you know, after a while, it started running its course, and like we all had our jobs. We had a lot of responsibility, you know, and then so I knew and at least speaking for myself, it started taking a lot of time. My job was becoming more important, and it was taking more time. So we kind of decided just to let it just dissolve. And if it happened again, it happened again. But it hasn't. So I haven't played on a stage probably in about 6 years.
What was
And
the name of that band?
that was Out for War. Out for War.
You have
Yeah.
to fucking pay
And,
attention.
Dude, I'm gonna
right.
say-
Yeah, that was a really fun experience. Yeah. But I never really since that band, I've never really wanted to be in anything unless it's as good as that, you know. But
Perfect.
you know, I haven't really been looking either much. I've been just kind of
We should start a new
I
band
just
called
want to
Dr.
take
Yes.
a yeah.
Dr. Y.
I just wanted to
What's the only other? Occasionally, I'll do
That's the
something. But
funniest thing you said all
that is
week.
not at all. Yeah, it probably is.
Oh my
So
god.
the only other band from Reno I know is Cobra Skulls. Like, what's the scene
Reno,
like?
Reno Divorce?
Yeah, like, what's the scene like in Reno?
I think they're not actually from Reno. Reno Divorce.
Really?
I think they're from Denver. Yeah.
No
Yeah.
fucking way. They talk a lot of shit.
I believe so. Because I mean, I've never seen them or heard them the whole time I've been here. And I remember we played with them in Denver, and
Yeah.
I remember I was pretty sure they were a local band there because
No.
I don't think they're. I don't know anybody that's heard of them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were a Denver band. Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
I've actually like looked that up because they've got a song about staying out of Reno.
Maybe they're
I mean, if they are, I'm not aware of them here. I mean, I've been here now, 15 years. I don't believe they're actually a Reno band. Yeah. I could be wrong. I mean, and if they are, sorry, Reno Divorce. I'm sorry, but yeah, I don't.
I think it's not loud in Reno anymore. That's a whole different story. So you're not doing anything music.
Musically, right now, no, I'm not actually. I've just what happened was I decided to take a break for a while, and then that break just became longer and longer and longer, and now I'm sitting here thinking, wow, when's the last time I played? And I'm thinking it's probably about 6 years ago. Yeah.
So when you were in Doctor No, what did you do with your first million?
My first million?
I got him. I fucking got him. I full on got him.
My first million, what? First million headaches. First million, yeah.
It's all over my phone.
Yeah, the first million penny.
First million pennies? Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I probably made $1 million pennies. Yeah. It was actually good. It was actually nice making money. Yeah, it was actually nice making money in a band because when I was in the tribute band, we were making nothing. You know, we were making absolutely nothing. Like we had a lockout studio, which was great. It was like our place to just hang out and chill, and we were good friends, bandmates, but we always end up owing money because when we do shows, that money we put it right back into rent, for the studio. So being a doctor, that was the first time I actually kept money, was able to go home and have some cash and tell my wife, look, let's go get some pizza. I mean, that's about all.
But just a slice.
It was something. Yeah, it was something.
And fucking cheese, bitch.
Yeah, don't put any toppings on it.
Yeah.
Don't go for the combo.
Right. I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't a lucrative situation, but hey, it was better than owing money.
Yeah, I would agree with you that Dr. No, we made a little bit of money. Even when it was cool because
you guys paid him.
Of course, I got.
Wow, against our better judgment at times, we did.
And Brandon was the four of us made an equal amount. We made, it was
right.
There was for as egotistical that Brandon could be when it came to that tour, at least, everybody got paid the same, And
well, yeah, I mean, in my experience the whole time, I was never. He never held money. That's that I'm aware of. I mean, I always got paid equal amount.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, when I started, the deal was, I believe, if I remember right, it's since you're the new guy, you have to kind of put in some time and earn your equal pay. But they were really cool. Like I think I played maybe 2 shows, and then they're like, let's just give them, split it 4 ways. So it didn't take long. They weren't. He wasn't really being that way. He was very, very, very fair.
I think I was lucky because I filled in last minute, and he was like,
"You're like 2 people."
He had the respect to go, "Hey, you have a name, and you're gonna earn what we earn. Just do your fucking job."
Yeah,
so
just
it was a good gig. Yeah, I if it wasn't for that, I would have never got the freeze gig. Like
that's right. Yeah, the Freeze are great guys. I had so much fun with those guys. Yeah, because I remember, I think it was, I know with you, I think we may have played with them a few other times, and maybe not. But I do remember those guys were always really fun to be around. They were good guys.
The first show we played with them was in Salt Lake City, and then we played a few more shows.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, remember? Because we had to sign. Like we had to become members of this bar.
Yes, that's right.
And to drink.
It was like it was considered a private club.
I remember
it was considered a private club.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, it was considered a private club, but you had to be a member to drink. So that's why we had. I remember that now. Yeah,
they gave you an ID card and everything, dude. It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, wasn't it right near the temple? I think it was near the temple.
Are you Mormon?
The Latter-day Saints, the Mormon temple, I think.
Well, I think they have one on every corner, like a 7-Eleven or
Yeah, no. I mean like the main one. I remember it was like this huge building, huge, like a castle.
Doesn't change.
But I think that may have been when we played with Freeze. And Jim, wasn't Agent Orange playing with us too? I
Yeah,
think?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was us,
Yeah.
Agent Orange, and the Freeze.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I think.
I was able to
Actually,
play.
it was Doctor No, the Freeze, and Agent Orange was the headliner that night.
Right. Yeah, that was we played I remember there's another time we played with Agent Orange. It was the Grove in Anaheim. It was it was Agent Orange and Fear and us. And that
What was
was
the
a
biggest
really
show
fun.
you ever played?
I'm trying to think. It may have been. I think it may have been when we opened for Rancid. We played at the Henry Fonda. It might have been that one, or maybe I don't know. We did a couple Hard Rocks. We did San Diego once, and we did I think San Francisco. We did the House of Blues one time with the Misfits in Hollywood. That one was pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure which would have been bigger though, if it was the Henry Fonda or if it was at the House of Blues. It was probably one of those two.
Favorite
Yeah,
gig?
it was Rancid. Favorite gig? Wow. I'm gonna.
The one you weren't at, Gizz?
You know what? Well, yeah.
He did not.
You know what? You know what I'm gonna say? You know what? God, there's so many, but the one that really, really, the one I was really so excited to play was, our label was Unrest Records. We were on, that was the label we were on, and in Edmonton they had the Unrest Fest, which was all day, all bands from the label, all our label mates, and that one. We found out like on a Tuesday, and they called us and said, "Hey, Friday we're going to fly you to Edmonton, and you're going to play the Unrest Fest." So I was like, "Cool." So we flew first we went to Vancouver, and then they flew us from Vancouver to Edmonton, and it was cool because like it was so many bands that day, and I was excited to play because Dago Abortions were headlining,
Oh man,
and oh my god, I loved that band so much. Like Dayglo's probably top 5 punk rock bands of all time. And I was so excited because I hadn't met them yet. This would have been my first time meeting them. And I was so excited. And I remember when we got off the airplane, we got on a taxi cab and we were calling the venue. And the guys from that were putting on the show, they're like, "Look, you guys are on next. We're going to have the crowd hang on. Just wait until you get here." So we got there, and as soon as we got out of the cab, everybody was outside smoking cigarettes and stuff. And they're like, "Oh, you guys must be Dr. No." So we said, "Yeah." So we just ran directly from the cab right onto the stage, and they had we were on the phone telling them what instruments. Like I needed to have a guitar that was standard tuning because a lot of the guys are tuned differently. So I said, just make sure there's a guitar with standard tuning and just a high gain amp. So they were getting all that ready while we were on the cab ride, and then we played that show. There was a bunch of bands like Inepsy was playing. I can't remember right now, but I remember after we played, it was like a couple, maybe one or two bands, but me and my cousin Rick, we were just standing there because Here Comes Dago. We were so excited to see them. And then Rick looks at me and he just goes, "Can you believe we're in Canada watching like one of our favorite Canadian bands?" And I was like, "Yeah, this is really badass." So that's why that really stuck out. That stuck out to me. It was just such a fun time. And the guys in the label were just such good dudes, man. Took care of us so well. Yeah.
Worst gig?
Yeah. No. We're not gonna go worst gig. My last question: is there any other musician you would just fucking flat out fight right now?
Musician?
Yeah, like somebody you've like been on stage with, or just somebody like anybody, like you would just like
on 3. Let's say it together. I'm just kidding.
Robert Plant.
Well, there was one guy that I don't even like to talk about it, but it was the dude. What's his name from Angry Samoans?
Which one?
I
What was
know.
his name?
The guitar player?
Singer. The singer. What's his name?
Singer, drummer, bass player.
Singer.
Oh, was it Metal Mike or?
Yeah. That dude. I mean, oh my God, yeah. I don't know. I don't like negativity, but me and him had some pretty serious words after one time. We had finished, and they were playing next, and he said that, well, my guitar player's using your gear, and I go, well, you guys didn't tell me that, So he just started grabbing my amp and taking it from me, and I kind of got a little angry. Yeah. So it was
Oh yeah.
it got a little heated, pretty heated. So yeah, I think that was the closest I ever got. I mean, I hadn't even walked off the stage yet. I think it was at the Gilman, if I remember. Yeah. But other than that, I had
never.
No beer, no
Oh my
cigarettes,
God.
no.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's enough to. Yeah, it was a little heated over that, But now that was really the only time that I think I ever really got angry at someone. But and then later, I know he has social. Someone told me he has kind of problems socially, and so I kind of got over it right away. But at the time, yeah, I was pretty mad.
Not, Steve.
Yeah. We're still talking about it 20 years later. I brought it up. It's my fucking fault.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I mean,
just to go sleep.
Yeah, I just. Yeah, I was never really. I didn't have too many negative experiences in playing. It was mostly cool. Just a lot of being tired and being on the road a lot, and just and especially when you're in a van with same three guys all day. You guys know how it is. It's just like
well,
you get a little tired.
Fuck yourself, right in the butt.
Well, yeah.
Another cool thing about when I did my
he said I again
my gigs with Dr. No was like during the middle of the tour, we were driving up to like Tennessee or Chicago or something, and we all like were kind of looking at each other and we're like, whoa, wait a minute. This is the first time Dr. No has ever had 4 actual Mexicans in the band.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, that was something we all kind of came to reality. Yeah, wow,
Like we're actually a Latino.
Well, no, because my cousin's
Dr. No.
Yeah, my cousin's Mexican. Yeah, so he's my cousin, of course he is. But yeah, no.
Have you ever met another Mexican that wasn't a cousin? I mean, seriously. Everyone was a cousin.
I mean, I suppose maybe I'm not known.
Compa.
Yeah.
Por eso no me gusta ese cabrón aquí.
Your mom. Jesus God. He doesn't think I speak Spanish. No, so I know how blah blah blah.
So what do you got going up coming up? Anything new that you want to tell anybody about or
actually nothing. I have been. It's funny. It's really weird that this all came up too, because like a lot of people have been asking, have you thought about doing anything? And oddly, I've been writing lyrics a lot. I was thinking if I do something again, I'd like to probably go back to vocals. So I have about 14 lyrics for about 14 songs written right now. So I'm thinking I might get the guitar, maybe put them down and maybe at the moment.
You're looking for somebody like less than mediocre.
No. I started a new band called Separated at Birth.
Yeah. And, yeah,
it should be called.
Oh my God! Why are you trying to rape everybody with your stuff? What? Stuff? That's creepy. That's fucking creepy.
Your next band should be called 14-year-old hooker.
Yeah. Oh my God. That episode does not exist anymore for a reason.
Oh my God.
Oh, we're coming to the end of our time, Steve. I wish there was a way we could help monetize you, and like if somebody wants to buy any merch or go to a website and just send you money for free.
Go to stevecontreras.org. Orgasm.
No, I'm doing fine. I'm doing okay. Yeah. But this has been, it's been real fun, man. It's like a lot of the stuff I hadn't really thought about much. It almost seems like music was so long ago when it kind of really wasn't. But,
It's only been 6 years.
right, and it was definitely like just I'd have to say, like, the whole time that I was playing in bands, it was probably 95% positive. The bad is so overtaken by the fun.
He's right here.
It was like being an irresponsible kid, and getting paid to do it, and going to travel and stuff. That's what that's what I love. Yeah, stop yelling like, anywhere that sold meat, But yeah, it was definitely fun stuff. It doesn't mean that I won't do it again. It's just that,
Well, I'm honored to meet you. You're a shredder. You're a badass.
There was another line you used to say, I'm a combat ready soldier.
Combat ready soldier. Yeah, that was another one of my stories. Yeah. That was a good story.
That because the night that we were in San Antonio, we were just about to walk on stage, and you gave me the one. All right, bro, like you got this, and I'm all right, dude. Right, you ready for this? And you're going, I'm a combat ready soldier. And I was like,
yeah, yeah. I stole that. That was
fuck.
Yeah, that was one of my when I was in the barracks and my last roommate I had in the Army. That was one of his things. He'd always walk around. Anytime you doubted him, he'd just tell you, "I'm a combat ready soldier." That was his thing.
I want to record that. I do want to record that. Use it.
That's the name for a band, Combat Ready Soldiers.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that was his answer for any time you had any doubt that he was a combat ready soldier. Yeah. So,
and another thing I remember is, hey, you like gum? Really? You like?
Oh my god!
Bazooka.
How fucking drunk are you people?
Dude, that was all him, man.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, that was
You used to make me roll every night, dude. It was an absolute pleasure to tour with you, man. I thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you. It was a lot of fun
experience for me.
Dr. Y?
Well, hey, what size shirt you wear?
Extra large. Extra large.
Yeah. I'm gonna send you a couple. I'm gonna send you a couple shirts.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm not. I used to be a large.
I'll send you a pint
Used to
glass.
be a large back.
Send you a t-shirt, and then I'm gonna send you a Dr. No Thanks shirt.
Oh my god. Oh my god. We're coming to the end of our time. Steven, has been a complete and absolute pleasure. I want to do this again with you at some point. And if we ever wherever you are in Reno, I want to fucking hang out and have a beer.
Absolutely.
You still drink?
Right now, I'm not drinking just because I've been going to. My liver levels got kind of high for a while. I was going to the doctor a lot, and so they suggested I cut it down. So for the most part, no, I haven't been drinking for a while, but I'm sure that there'll be a time where I'll have a couple here and there.
You still
just
smoke
right
crack?
now? I just of course, yeah, absolutely.
I have 2 livers. You want one?
It flows like wine.
We're gonna see each other. We're gonna have some beef jerky burritos.
Oh my god, no.
Beef jerky burritos. Yes.
And fucking
absolutely.
Dude, once again, brother, it's always a pleasure seeing you. And
oh my god,
we got to hang out soon. I know me and Steve are going to be talking a lot about you this weekend when we leave on tour.
Good guy, man. I love Steve-O, man. He's great,
he is an absolute best.
Steve's pretty fucking goddamn cool.
Good, great bass player.
He's
better than Mark.
Such a dick.
I know, but I love Mark.
All right. Well, with that, brother, stay here, and we're gonna sign off, and then we'll get back to you. Okay? So
sure.
Yeah. So stay in the fucking in the green room. I love you, brother.
All right,
we'll see you soon, man.
Thanks, bud.
All right. Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys. Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
All right. Fuck
We're
yeah.
still on, right? Like,
yeah.
oh
Yeah,
god,
we're
no, we're
still
still
on.
alive.
All right. Well,
Oh,
so
what? Oh.
Gizz, what's up, dude?
we're
No,
not
no,
off
we're
yet.
We're on.
Oh,
We're
you
still
guys
alive.
still-
Oh,
Yeah,
there's
we're
a
still
key
on.
off
We're-
over there.
We're about to
We're
sign
gonna
off here.
we're gonna like regret this properly.
But dude, what another fucking great interview.
I
Man.
know.
You know,
We're really good. Well, I'm good at this. You're there. Adjacent.
I was just about to compliment you. Now, now I don't give a fuck. God, I hope Jeff stays at your house tonight again.
Ow!
No.
I can't stand Paul's anymore.
No more, no, dude.
Paul's house for 3 nights in a row.
I have been drunk since Friday. I'm pretty good at this. Unlike
pretty good at drinking.
somebody.
This was a rock
Oh
star
my
weekend,
God.
man.
All right, what
So-
are we doing next week?
So next weekend, or
It's gonna be
next
fun.
Monday. Next Monday, I'll be in Seattle. I'm leaving the keys to the castle to
Yep.
you, and you guys. I'm going to be your guest next
Yeah.
week. Some of the guys from Foreclosure, whoever wants to do it, can come on and talk to you. But it's either just going to be me and you, just me being in Seattle, bullshitting with your brother, and
I really want to get him out to your
yeah.
show.
because I heard you're his bitch.
Oh my god, dude, we're not talking about that at all. I
Oh,
will murder
I did not
you.
ask you the question. What don't you want to talk about?
Oh. Probably your pubes.
Hey, that should be our fucking next show.
What don't you want to
wanna
talk
know
about?
about?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And then we can have Elliot back.
I'm gonna go hang myself.
You use my dick.
It's not long enough. It's thin enough, but it's not long enough.
Oh, shit. Anyway, I'm Gizz Lazlo,
I'm just Paul.
and we'll see you guys next week and
Don't
for
do
another
this.
episode of
Oh, don't do this
shit.
shit.
Drunken Punk Rock.
Fucking
Idiocy.
no.
All right. All right. Peace.